Melanie Shah from Birmingham, England, the first female fighter from the UK to ever fight in the United States. A warrior through and through.
For me, this sport isn't about your skill level. You go into other combat sports, it's about your skill, your training. With this sport, I think it's more important that you have that warrior spirit, that heart to just continue. No matter who's in front of you, like I don't care who's in front of me, I'm going to go to the end. You're not going to stop me, and you're not going to knock me out, and you're not going to drop me. I'm going to keep going, no matter my injuries, and it's just something that's in me. It's just a fire that I just wouldn't go down.
3 fights in less than a year are a testament to her determination. After a successful debut in Newcastle against Matilda Wilson, she went all the way to Albuquerque, New Mexico to beat tough American Sydney Smith. Only 7 weeks later, Melanie got her big opportunity for a title fight against reigning champion Britain Hart.
I was so lucky to have that opportunity so early on in my bare knuckle fight career. I was just extremely proud of my performance and, you know, going 5 rounds with the #1. I was extremely proud of myself. I mean, I knew it was going to be a tough fight. I only like to take tough fights. I don't like easy fights or fights where I'm the favourite. I like to be the underdog and I like to push myself. And as long as I can go 5 rounds and they don't drop me or stop me, and I know they've had to work to finish the fight themselves, then I'm happy. I got drawn into her fight style, and it's not my fight style, but I still held my own, and she still didn't put me on. She didn't put me down once. She never knocked me out, and she had to put everything into that fight. I wasn't at my best, and I still made her work.
You know, I saw her tooth come out, and you know, it was like a shark in the water. I smelled blood, and I started turning up there. She still hung in, and tough as hell. I mean, like I said, I wanted the knockout. I still want the knockout. I really wanted to send a strong message. I didn't want to waste minutes in the ring, but hey, I just got more rounds experience is the way I look at it. So tough fight, man, for her, and proud of myself for keeping up with someone who puts the pressure on and tries to drown you.
What she's achieved in bare knuckle boxing last year is phenomenal. Going over to America, going 5 rounds with the champion. Her reputation is up there. She is one of the toughest SOBs in combat sports, and I'm proud to say she's my friend. She is the female Nate Diaz.
Following the bout, Melanie's interview with Bare Knuckle News took the internet by storm, amassing millions of views across Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Many of the comments were positive, but a lot of them were negative ones as well.
I think a lot of people misunderstood what had happened before the interview. They have such an amazing medical team, BKFC do, and they really look after their fighters. Before the fight, you are seen and checked, along with all the medical checks you have to have before the fight anyway. And after the fight, no matter how you look, you're seen by the medical team. So I had all my stitches done, I had everything, all the checks done, my concussion test, to make sure that I was fit. So everything that you could see on me was superficial. It's just cuts and swelling, which went down really quickly. But I understand it's a shock because bare knuckle is brutal. It's very fresh. When you get an injury, it's fresh. You'll see cuts, you'll see bleeding, and you'll see swelling. But it looks worse than it is, and I didn't feel any pain. So I was in a happy mood. I wasn't upset.
Shortly after the fight, all her bruises and cuts were gone.
Even if I'm not fighting, I bruise really easily. So my skin bruises, and it's very sensitive. A lot of things react with it. So I'll always look worse after a bare knuckle than some of the other fighters do. But again, you see me a week after the fight, you won't even know I've been in one, because I just heal up really fast. I mark up really fast and I heal really fast. So people don't really get that about me. So if they're just coming and seeing the interview by itself and they don't understand the sport and they don't understand me, then they're judging it really harshly and unfairly.
One thing I want to say about Melanie Shah, she went out there as a warrior. She had every right to stand in front of a camera with a post-fight interview looking the way that she did. There's still a stigma of what I like to call a cosmetic sensitivity amongst those who really don't understand what blood and cuts means in the world of combat sports. We'd much rather not rattle the brain basket and have permanent injuries than blood and cuts. I mean, it's all cosmetic. I applaud her, I salute her.
I think if a man's full of scores, the women think, oh, he's a bit rough for me. Like, I think women want to feel protected. I mean, they should do in any ways, that's instinct. But when a woman's been scored up, usually a total gun, that's a bit rough, you know what I mean? But like, that's the sport she's chosen.
Now Melanie is gearing up to face a different kind of opponent, the court of public opinion. She's on a mission to change perceptions of female fighters in combat sports and become a trailblazer, inspiring a new generation.
I think with the men, it is true, they look at them more like warriors and they go, oh, they've got scars and they've got injuries from their fight and that's the warrior in them. But when a woman does it, it's like, why would you do that to yourself? It's like, you're a woman, why would you want your kids to see that? But this is what I'm in, this is a sport, I'm not an idiot, I know what's gonna happen. And I trust the medical team around me and I trust myself as a fighter. And it's like any choice in life, there are risks involved, but other people shouldn't be judging it because I'm a woman, and so why would you want to do this to yourself? Because I'm no different than a man doing this. We're doing the same sport, so you should be looked on the same. Sometimes it's like, well, you can't be a nice person or a good mom or a good wife and be a fighter. You have to be like a bit crazy and a bit mean to be a female fighter, because you can't be both. And I like to show that, no, I can have the two sides. In the ring, I'm like this, but out of the ring, I'm just a nice person. And like, I always try and be extremely respectful and kind with my opponents before and after the fight, because there's nothing personal about what we're doing. It's a sport.
She is one of my favorite new fighters. I love Britain. Britain Hart is one of my friends. But that woman was sitting there with me and my wife that next day, toothless, smiling with her eye this big. And for a woman, that is 0.0000001% of this world. And somebody like that inspires others. She's close to my heart. She became family.
You know, another thing that we're witnessing personally is we're witnessing history being made. 50 years from now, when we're looking at bare knuckle history and we're looking at the Hall of Fame books, you're going to see Melanie Shah, probably one of the first women out of the UK in bare knuckle. It's not big over there. Female bare knuckle is not big in the United Kingdom. But we will have Melanie Shah on a pedestal. They'll probably have an award named the Melanie Shah Award.
And that's exactly the kind of legacy Melanie wants to leave in the sport.
I just want to be remembered as an exciting fighter who always did tough fights and gave it her all, and just was a warrior, like never gave up. No one ever could turn around and say she shouldn't be in the ring because she can't take it, and hopefully change people's ideas about female fighters and about bare knuckle as well. If you haven't tried bare knuckle and you haven't got in the ring and tried it, I said you're judging something you don't know. And you're also judging a fighter you don't understand, because whereas they might be a fighter that would say, why did you go 5 rounds, throw the towel in? That's them. They'd throw the towel in, they'd give up. I'd never give up. So that's not me. So if they don't understand that, I can't explain it to them, because they're not built the same as me. I first want to thank David Feldman for giving me the opportunity in Newcastle to start with, and then giving me the opportunity to come over and be the first Briton in America fighting for BKFC, which was a huge achievement. From the initial interview in Newcastle, working with Bare Knuckle News TV, you and Suzanne has been an amazing journey, because you've been there from the start up until now. You've seen everything evolve and you've been supporting me, and very positive as my role as a bare knuckle fighter and as a female in the sport. It's really important to have the media behind you, because you can make or break me, and you can turn it positive or negative, and it's really important to have a positive media outlet. So I've been really appreciative of your guys' involvement and everything you guys have been doing.
For Bare Knuckle News, I'm Susan Singari, and this is the story of the soul of a warrior, Melanie Shah.